Hi, I'm Mike with Homes Quality Products. Today, I want to talk about the Chase Trifecta. The Trifecta is a combination of usually three cards where you can maximize your points and get more value when you combine these three together. So the first card I want to talk about is the Chase Freedom Unlimited. This is a no annual fee card that gives you 5% back for using the Chase portal to book travel. It also gives you 3% back on dining, 3% back on drugstores, and then 1.5% back on everything. So that 1.5% is the minimum you're going to get when you use it at Walmart, wherever, anywhere you use that, you're going to at least get 1.5% on everything. So this is the first card of the three card combination. The next card I want to talk about is the Chase Freedom Flex. This card also gives you 5% back when you use the Chase portal to book travel, but this card also gives you 5% back in a rotating category. It gives you 3% back on dining, 3% back on drugstores, 1% back on everything else. So mainly with this one, the key part is the 5% back on a rotating category. So it could be Amazon, Walmart, eBay, PayPal. It could be numerous things, but that 5% that you get in that category is what kind of adds to these points adding up over a period of time. The next card I want to talk about is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. This card has a $95 annual fee, but Chase does give you a $50 travel credit. So it kind of offsets at least half of it, knocks you down to $45 a year in the annual fees. But this card will give you 5% in the Chase travel portal, just like the other ones. It'll give you 3% back on dining, 1% back on everything else. But this card allows you to use transfer partners. So now you have those other two credit cards combined with this card, and now you can start transferring points out. Transfer them to, British Airlines or Hyatt and things like that, and you can get a lot more value out of these points. I'll put up a couple examples just to show you Hyatt versus cash so you can see how much more valuable points are. So with this combination, you're getting the 1.5% minimum on everything with the Freedom Unlimited. You're getting the 5% back with the Freedom Flex. Then you're getting 3% back on dining and 3% back on drugstores. Also, the Preferred gives you travel insurance and it gives you purchase protection and things like that. Also, primary car rental insurance. So when you combine these cards together, yes, you have a $45 annual fee once you use that $50 hotel credit, but now you're using three different cards to maximize your points. My only thing that I really don't like about this setup, they don't have very much versatility. So this one also has a 3% on groceries, but online. So you don't really have any grocery category. You don't have any fuel category. 3% repeatedly over and over on dining and drugstores. It's like there's a lot of overlapping. I feel like they missed a lot of opportunities. And I mention that because I did a video on the city trifecta, which gives you, percentage back on gas, percentage back on groceries, dining, and it goes a 5% category just like this, but you get to choose kind of like whatever your main purchase is. So I felt like the city combination has a lot more versatility. With the Preferred, you're going to get a 25% bonus if you purchase through the portal, but most of the time you're going to be transferring out to partners. But I don't know if it quite beats of being able to get, for example, 5% back on fuel with the city combination. So it's just something to consider. Now, if you wanted to, you could take the same combination and get rid of the Chase Preferred and bring in the Chase Reserve. Now, that card has a $550 annual fee. It does have a $300 travel credit, which is pretty easy to use and get the value out of that. And then that knocks it down to $250 annual fee. But this card also has lounge access, priority pass. So if you're traveling a lot, maybe the lounges will help offset the last, the $250 that's on the card. But that's a lot higher annual fee if you're not going to be using the lounges and things like that. The multipliers on the Reserve are 10% when you book hotels and car rentals through the Chase travel portal, 5% on flights through the Chase Travel Portal, 3% on dining, 3% on travel, 1% on everything else. And then it gives you, instead of a 25% increase like the preferred, you get a 50% increase. That percentage helps a little bit too. It gives you a little bit more value if you're using this as your only card setup. So it does, if you're going to book it through there and you're not transferring out, you're going to get a little bonus out of it. This card also has the travel and purchase protection, just like the preferred has. So you still get those type of things too. I personally like the preferred, but that's also because I use the American Express Platinum as my lounge access card, and I'm able to get money back out of that card throughout the year. So it works out. You can watch the Platinum video I made and kind of explain how it actually pays me to have that card. I also want to mention, when you transfer this out to partners and you book a flight with points, usually if you have to cancel the flight, it's not as big deal to get your points back versus if you paid cash for that flight. Trying to get your cash back is a lot harder. So it's almost like getting flight insurance by using points. So that way, if you have to trip delay insurance or things like that, you need to cancel it, you can get your points back. So just something to remember too when you transfer out. I know with British Airways, I think it's 24 hours before your flight. So I've mentioned this before in other videos. I use British and American a lot. American, it's like up to, I think, the time you board. British is like 24 hours. So it's a little extra assurance knowing you can get your points back. I also want to mention that Chase has Hyatt. So the only people I can think of right now that has Hyatt is Chase and Bilt. And Hyatt points are very valuable. You're going to get usually at least 2 cents per point. So just remember that if you like to stay at Hyatt's or you want to get a nice hotel really cheap, it's a lot easier to accumulate the points with this combination of cards. So my overall opinion on this is, if you're in the Chase ecosystem, it's not a bad idea. I personally like the preferred, but that's because I have a different card I use for lounge access when I'm traveling. But if you travel a lot and you don't have another card with lounge access and you're in the Chase ecosystem, maybe you should consider a reserve. But it's a little harder for me to get the value out of that card. Where the preferred's not too bad because I can definitely get the $50 hotel credit every year, and then I'm only paying $45 for that card. But if you're in the ecosystem and you like Chase stuff and you want to stay at Hyatt's a lot, so they have good partners and things like that. But for me, it misses out on a few key points. Those key points in particular are no fuel, unless it happens to be a rotating category, which I don't like rotating categories. I prefer to be able to choose where I want to get my percentages back or know what I'm getting with that card. And grocery, I feel like not having fuel and grocery is a huge loss with this combination. Where like the city combination, I'm going to get something for grocery, something for fuel. Also, their lowest card is a 1.5% on all purchases, where with the city I had 2% card with the double cash. So I like Chase's partners. I like Chase travel insurance. I like Chase purchase protection. I don't like the multipliers. So you got to figure out what's more important for you. I have a lot of cards, so for me, I can pick and choose. I can use my Amex for, purchase protection and flight protection and things like that, and travel protections. And then I can use my city card for fuel and things like that. So like I can combine them and get a lot of points and maximize it. But like I said, if you're already in the Chase ecosystem, it's not a bad combination. I would suggest do the math. Definitely do the math. I think I usually suggest the preferred for people that want to use Chase cards and they're in the Chase ecosystems. Because if they're not traveling probably 5 times, at least 3 at a minimum, or more times a year, it's going to be hard to get the extra benefits out of the reserve if you're not really getting lounge access and things like that. But anyway, it's real important. Do the math, see what works out for you. I did the math for you guys in the Platinum card to show you how it pays me to have that card. But do your own math, see what works in your lifestyle, because I'm here to help you grow money. I don't want you to lose money. Remember, treat credit like cash. If you don't have the cash, you don't have the credit. I want you to grow money, get free trips, free flights, cash back, and have these extra things. So don't go in debt. Don't start buying things you can't afford. If it's an emergency, do what you got to do. But other than that, treat it like cash. If you don't have the cash, you don't have the credit. Anyways, One thing I want to add, I know I haven't said this in the other videos, and I want to add it, is if you guys think of any ways I can improve these videos, please comment down below. Whether it be the way I recorded it, the way I said something, anything you could think of, comment down below. I want to make these better and more informative. So just let me know. Anyway, thank you guys. Hit the subscribe, like, notification button, and I will see you in the next one.